Hello YouTubers, I'm Parvez and welcome to Python Database Programming full course. Before this I request from all of you to please subscribe my channel and also like the video. So now there will be three parts in this video that we will learn. So in the first part we are going to talk about SQLite 3 introduction, and also we are going to do CRUD operation on SQLite 3 in Python programming language. After that we are going to talk about MySQL database, how you can install, and also how you can do CRUD operation in MySQL database. And in the third part and the last part we are going to talk about PostgreSQL database, and also we are going to do CRUD operation on this database. So now let's get started, and we are going to start from the first database, that is SQLite 3 database. Hello friends, I'm Parvez and this is our 26th video in Python 3 programming basics. In the previous video we have learned that how you can write to a file in Python using Python file handling. Now in this video we are going to start our Python 3 database programming, and particularly in this video I want to show you that how you can connect your Python to MySQL database. Now before this you need to install MySQL client, because we are using MySQL client for database programming. Now you can install through pip install MySQL client. This will work, but sometimes it doesn't work. If it doesn't work for you, you can install this through this command pip install only binary, and I will add this to the video description. You can check that. Now after installing this, also you need a WAMP server, because I'm using WAMP server. This is my WAMP server. Now I'm going to create a database in here, so click on new, and I want db test, and I don't want to add any table for this. Now create. Now database has been created successfully, and for right now there's no table in our db test. After this, open your PyCharm IDE. Now we need to import, so import MySQL DB as mdb. Now I'm going to create some variables in here, so db name, my db name is db test, and I have db host, so this is local host, and also db pass, so I don't have any password for my database, and also db user. Now the user is root. Okay, after this now we are going to create a try catch block, so try. Now let me create a db mdb dot connect, and in here you need to add your first you need to add your host, so it is db host, and after you need to add your user, so db user, db password, and the last one is db name. Okay, and after this we need to just print database connected successfully. Okay, after this let me give the accept, so accept mdb dot error as e. Okay, now you can print database not connected successfully fully and plus e. Okay, now this is my code, and let me just run this. Okay, now you can see the database connected successfully because we are running web server, and this is my web server, and we have a MDB test database. But if I change this, for example, like this, I don't have this database in my web server. Let me now run this. Now you can see that we have received this because we don't have any database. You can see database not connected successfully, and it printed for us. Now let me just remove this e and run this, and yeah, now you can see the database not connected successfully. Now if I make it db test and if I run this, database connected successfully. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel and also like the video. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and this is our 27th video in Python 3 programming language, and we are going to continue our Python database programming topic. Now in the previous video we have learned how you can connect your Python to MySQL database, and this is you can see database connected successfully, and this is the code, and we have a db test in our web server. Now in this video I want to show you how you can create tables dynamically in Python programming language. So I'm going to copy this code and paste it in here. Now after connecting to this, we are going to if you check web server right now in db test, I don't have any table, but I want to create a table, employee table in here. So for this in here, after connecting, let me first create a db.cursor. So cursor like this, and after this now we are going to drop the table if it already exists. So for this you can execute this query. So cur.execute, and in here we need to write drop. This is not important, but if you don't want, you can if you don't want, you can leave it. So drop table if exists employee. Okay, now after this let me create my SQL query. So my query in here, you can give it, let me give it in here. So create a table employee. Okay, now for this employee I want to give, so first I want to give a name, and it is a car and 20 character, and it should be not null. Okay, and also I need email. So for the email I want to give it car 20, and also I need age. So age, and for this I want to give it int. Okay, now this is our complete code. Okay, not complete. After this we need to execute our query, so car.execute, and we want to execute our SQL query, and after that I'm going to print that table created successfully. Okay, now this is our code, and if I run this, I should get I should create a employee table with these columns in my web server. So let me just run this. Database connected. Okay, now you can see the database connected. This is a warning, no problem. So database connected successfully and table created successfully. Now I'm going to check this, that we have employee table in our web server. Now let me open db test. Okay, now you can see I have employee table in here. If I open this, now you can see I have name, email, and age. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos, please subscribe to my channel. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and in the previous video we have learned that how you can create tables, MySQL tables in Python programming language. So this is from the previous video. This is the code that we have created an employee table, and if you see my database, I have an employee table. But right now I don't have any data for this. I have name, email, and age fields, but there is no data. Now in this video I want to show you how you can insert data in Python programming language in MySQL database. So there are two ways that you can do, and I'm going to show you the both way. So the first way is, let me show you the first way, and let me just copy some codes. So I need to copy these codes from the previous video. So let me just copy these codes and paste it in my inserting data. Okay, like this. After this, let me create a DB object. So DB so mdb dot connect so I want DB host, I want DB user, DB password, and DB name. Okay, now after this let me create my insert query. So insert query, and in here I'm going to write, so insert into employee. And if you see my database, I have name, email, and age. So I want to insert the data in the name, in email, and age. Okay, and the values that I want, so values, and for the value, for example, I want to add my name and my email address. So, and also I'm going to, for example, give an age, for example 24. So after this, now let me create a try except. So for the try, I want to execute my query. So I have forgot to create cursor object. So db dot cursor, and now I am going to execute my query. So execute, and I want to execute the insert query. So after this you need to commit the changes in the database. So db dot commit, and also you need to print something, for example data inserted successfully. And let me create except. So in the except I want to print failed to insert the data. Okay, and also we need to close db.close the server. Okay, now this is our complete code, and let me run this. So now you can see we have received the message data inserted successfully. Now if I check my database employee, so now I have a new data in here, so that we have given. Let me add some more data, for example John, and you can give for example 20. Let me execute the query. Let me another name, so bob@gmail.com. you can give it, for example 29. So insert data. Now let me refresh my database. Now you can see I have 3 data in. So now this was the first way that we have added some data into our MySQL database with Python programming language. Now in this way there are chances that you get SQL injection. Now for preventing SQL injection, we are using placeholders instead of these hard-coded data. So now I'm going to just copy all of the code and I'm going to paste it in my another Python file. So we are going to just bring change in our this insert query. So now instead of we have values, instead of giving these values, we are going to add placeholders. So for example, let me add, because we have 3 data like this, and now in here we are going to create a tuples, so value, and now in here you can give your value. So for example, I want to give Tom, tom@gmail.com, and also you can give an age, for example 30. Okay, now in the insert query you need to also add your value. Now using this method you can prevent SQL injection. Now let me run the code. So data inserted successfully, and I'm going to check my database. So I have a new data in here. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and in the previous video we have learned that how you can insert data into MySQL database with Python programming language. Now we have inserted some data, and these are the data that we have inserted into WAMP server MySQL database. Now in this video I'm going to show you how you can read data from MySQL database. For this I have created a new Python file, and I'm going to just copy these codes from the previous video, so I don't need to write these. Okay, now after this let me create a read query. So let me give it select query, and in here I want to select all from employee. Okay, now let me create a try. So in the try I want to execute my query, so cur.execute, and I want to execute the select query. After this, now I want to fetch all the data. Let me create a results variable, and I want to fetch all. Okay, now let me create let me create a for loop. So for row in results, and now you can print. So let me create name. So for the name I have a row 0, and I have email row 1, and also age row 2. Okay, now after this I'm going to print these data. So print and name. So for the name you can give name. Print email. For the email you can give email, and we have print age. And for this you need to convert this to the string and give the age. Okay, and also you need to add accept. So accept, and I'm going to print unable to fetch the data from database. And also you need to close, so db.close. Okay, now if I run this is my complete code, and I want to run my code. So now you can see that these are the data that I have retrieved. So these are the 3 data that we have, the 4 data, and like this we have successfully select all data from MySQL database in Python. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and in the previous video we have learned that how you can select all data from your MySQL database in Python. So this is from the previous video, and we have retrieved these data from our MySQL database. Now in this video I'm going to show you that how you can update your data in MySQL database. Now there are 2 ways that you can update your data. So the first way is not save, and the second way is saver, because we are going to prevent SQL injection. Now let me show you the first way. I'm going to copy these codes from here because I don't want to write all of them. So these are okay, now let me copy in here. Now I'm going to create my update query. So update query, and in here I want to update employee. So I want to update employee and set I want to update the name of the employee table, and for example this I want to make it updated name, and where name. So if you see my database, the first name in here is Parvez, and I want to update this. So in here you can write this, the condition. After this let me create try, and in the try I want to execute my update query. Also let me db.commit and print data updated successfully, and then the accept let me print unable to update the data, and at the end you need to close your connection. So db.close. Okay, Now let me run, this is the code, let me run this. Data updated successfully, and now I'm going to check my database. So now you can see that the data is updated name. Now this was the first way. Now in the second way, I'm going to copy all of my code and paste it in here. I want to bring, because we are using placeholder, now I'm going to bring changes in here. So instead of giving hard-coded name, and I'm going to give it a placeholder string like this, and in here I'm going to create a value, a tuple, and I want to so the second record in here is John, so I want to change this with my name, so John. Also you need to give value in your execute query. I'm going to run this. Unable to update the data, so why it's giving me error. Oh sorry, I need to change this also. So for this also I'm going to give it. Okay, now let me run this. Data updated successfully. Refresh the page. So now you can see that the John is changed to my name. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel, like the videos and share the video. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and in the previous video we have learned that how you can update your data, your MySQL data, using Python programming language. In this video I'm going to show you how you can delete data from MySQL database. Now there are two ways that you can delete, and I will show you. First let me show you the first way, and let me just copy some codes from the previous video, and I'm going to copy these codes and paste it in here. So the first way, let me now create delete query, and you can delete, for example, from employee, where so I want to delete according to the name, so where name is okay, I want to delete the first one, updated name, okay. After this let me create try, and in here I want to execute the query. I want the delete query. Also you need to print something in here, data deleted successfully, and in the except we are going to print unable to delete the data, unable to delete the data. Okay, also you need to close the connection, so db dot close. So now if I run this, data deleted successfully, and if I refresh my database, you can see that this data, the first one, will be deleted. So now I don't have the updated. Let me show you the second way. So this was the first way, and the second way that by using this way you can prevent SQL injection. So I'm going to copy this code and I want to paste it in here. So I need to bring change in here because instead of using this name, I want to add a placeholder string in here, so like this, and also I need to create a value. So this time I want to remove this my name. So in here you want to remove okay, like this. Now in your delete query you need to add the volume. So now let me refresh my page. Unable to delete the data. So why it's okay? Oh, you need to also, okay, now give a comment here. Data deleted successfully. Now let me refresh the database. Now I don't have my name data. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel and also like the videos. Hello friends, I'm Parvez. In the previous video we have learned about deleting data from MySQL database in Python programming language. Now in this video I want to show you that how you can drop your complete table. So for example, I have this employee table and I want to drop this table, or in simple we can tell that I want to remove that table. For this I'm going to copy some codes from the previous video. So I want to this basic requirements of DB connection. Let me copy this and paste it in here. After this, let me create my drop query. So drop query, and I want to drop table. So if exists, so if this table exists, I want to drop this. So I want to drop the employee. Now in the try, I'm going to execute the query. So execute, and you need to add your drop query in here, and let me print something. Table dropped successfully, and in the accept, print unable to drop the table. So simple code, and let me run this. Table dropped successfully, and if I refresh my database, so now in the DB test I don't have any employee table. So thank you guys. If you have any question, suggestion, please let me know, and for the further videos subscribe the channel and also like. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and in the previous videos we have learned about how you can use MySQL database in Python programming language, and we had a complete video series on Python and MySQL database. Now in this video I want to talk about SQLite database. Now this will be a complete video series on SQLite 3 with Python programming language, from creating database up to inserting data, selecting data, updating data, and also deleting data. So now let me have some few words about SQLite. Now SQLite is a light version database, and it is a serverless database. If you remember, in MySQL database we used WAMP server, and in SQLite we don't need to any server because it is serverless, and also there is no need for configuration, for example localhost or password. So we don't need these in SQLite. Now by default, because we are using SQLite 3, by default when you're installing Python, SQLite is installed. So now let's get started. I'm using PyCharmID, and we are going to start our first coding in SQLite. So Now first let me in here import. So I'm going to import SQLite 3 SQLite 3. Now after this let me create a main function in here, and now let me create a try. So try, and the try, the first thing I need, so let me add a alias, so as lite. Okay, now the first thing we need to connect our database. So when we are going to when we connect our database and we run our code, it will create a database for us. So for example, let me db lite dot connect. So in here you need to give your database name whatever you want. For example, I want my database should be employee.db. And now after this let me just do the accept in here. So accept failed to create a database, and finally, so in here I'm going to db dot close. Okay, like this. Now let me just run this, and okay, before this let me and I'm going to run my main method in here. So let me run this, and I don't have anything in here. So let me just do also, so if I check here that I have a database in here, so now you can see I have an employee DB, but I need to print in here. I forgot to print in here, so you can print in here database created successfully. Okay, now you can see I have an employee DB database in my in here. So like this you can connect you can create a database in SQLite. Now after this now I'm going to show you that how you can create tables. Now we have our database, but there is no table in this database. Now let me create a new Python file, and I call it creating tables. So now let me bring it in here. Okay, now first we need to import SQLite 3, and now let me create my main method, and in here I'm going to create a try. So in the try I always forget to add lite. So in the try I'm going to create a DB, so DB and I want to connect, so lite.connect, and in here you can add your database name. So my database name is employee.db. Now we are going to create a cursor, so cursor object db.cursor, and now I'm going to create so table query. We need to create a table. The table name is users, and the table fields we need an ID, so it should be int. A name I'm going to give it text, and also I need to give email, so text. And after this we need to execute query, so car.execute, and we need to add our table query in here like this, and I want to print table created successfully. Okay, now after this in here let me add an except, and you can print unable unable to create table, and in the finally let me db dot close. I want to close the database. Okay, so now let me just run this code, and I have this code, and I should get a table. So let me run this. So print there is no employee.tb. so let me just check that I have a table in here or not. I'm going to copy this, so, and let me just paste it in here, so I can paste. Okay, let me open Show in Explorer. So I want to copy this and paste it in my folder. Why I cannot paste? We don't have any table in here because it's 0 byte. So let me just check this. No copy. So sorry, I have forgot to call the main method. So in here I need to call this, and now I'm going to call the main. Now let me run this. So table created successfully, and now if I check, so let me just copy employee and paste in the folder, in this folder. So now I'm going to open, I'm using SQLite Manager, and I'm going to open, so add database, and I need to add from in the desktop, so it's new folder 3, sorry, new folder so let me, what was the folder name? Okay, new folder 5. So new folder 5, I can find it. Okay, now you can see, let me add this and let me click on OK. So now let me just see. So yeah, now you can see I have table users, and if I open, I have ID, name, and email. And for the data, I don't have any data for right now for this. So like this you can create a table in SQLite 3. So friends, in the previous section we have learned that how you can create tables in SQLite 3. Now in this video I want to show you that how you can insert data to your SQLite tables. Okay, first let me import SQLite 3 as lite, and I'm going to create a tuples of my user and my users, and in here I'm going to add some users. So the first one, so I'm going to add, for example, I want to add some users in here with email addresses. And let me just copy this and paste it. So copy, I want to add 4 users. Okay, let me change the ID. So 2, 3, and 4. Also let me change the name, so you can change the name whatever you want. So let me add these names in here, and like this. Okay, now we have created our users. After this, let me connect my database. So db lit.connect, and I want to connect to the employee.db like this. Okay, after this, so now with db, and I want to create a cursor object, so db.cursor, and after that I need to execute the query, so you need to execute many. Now in here we need to insert, so insert into users, so I want to insert into my users, and the values, and for the values I want to give it some placeholders, so like this, and the data is my user, and you need to print data inserted successfully. Okay, now let me just run this. So I have data inserted successfully. Now I'm going to check this in my so let me just copy, let me just delete this, and let me open. Okay, now I'm going to copy this, so I want to paste it in here, and now I'm going to check that I have this data or not. Let me add database, employee.db, and okay, so now let me users, and let me check the data. So now you can see I have these data, inserted data into my SQLite 3, into my employee tables. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can select the data from your SQLite tables. Now these are the data, and I want to select all of them. So for this, let me first import SQLite 3 as lite, and I'm going to create I'm going to connect my database, so this is employee.db. Now let me with db, first let me create a cursor, so db.cursor, and now let me create my query, select query, select all from users. So I want to select all of data from users. After this, we need to execute our select query, and now I'm going to create rows. So after this we need to fetch the all data, and we want to save that in our rows, so fetch all. Now we need to create for data in rows a for loop, and we need to print all of the data. And let me run this. So now you can see that these are the data that we have. So you can see if you check my database, we have these data in here. Okay, now after this, let me show you updating data. Now how you can update the data in SQLite database. So let me create a new Python file, updating data. Okay, now let me first import SQLite 3 as lite, and now let me connect my database, so connect, and my database name is employee.db. So with db, now so we are going to update the data according to the ID. So first let me create some variables, so username, not username, so new name, so I want to update my name, so this is updated name, and I'm going to add a user ID, so I want to update the first ID like this. Okay, now let me create a cursor object, so db.cursor cur.execute. Now let me execute my query. So update, I want to update the users table, and I want to set the name. Let me add a placeholder ID, and also for this I'm going to add a placeholder, and in here you need to add your updated data, so name, and I want according to the user ID. Okay, like this. So now let me bring it in here. Okay, so after this in updating you need to commit your data, so database, so db.commit and print data updated successfully. Okay, now let me run my code, and so let me run it. Data updated successfully. Now if you check the database, so this name should be updated. So let me remove this and let me add copy this, and so copy and paste it in here, paste and copy and replace. Okay, now let me open my SQLite Studio, database, add database, and let me add this database. Okay, so users, and I want to check the data. So now you can see the first data is updated. Okay, now we have learned about updating data. The last one is that we are going to learn is deleting data. So for this, let me create a new Python file in here. So deleting data. Okay, now the first thing you need to import SQLite 3 as lite, and now we need to write our code. The first thing is to connect our database, so lite.connect. My database name is employee.db with db, and now you can do this like updating. So in here you can add for example deleted, so deleted name. So I don't need to this because I want to add a user ID, so I want to delete according to the ID. Let me create a cursor, db.cursor and cur.execute, and you need to execute your query. So delete from users, and where ID, add the placeholder in here. Now we need to add our user ID, so user ID. Okay, after this you need to commit the database, so db.commit, and also I'm going to print data deleted successfully. So now let me run this. Data deleted successfully. Now if you check the SQLite Studio, I have this data, and let me just remove this, and so remove. Let me copy the database, so Control C, and I want to paste it in my folder, So Control V, replace. Now in SQLite, add database, and we are going to add this database. Let me check users data. Now you can see that I don't have the first one data in here. So thank you guys, this was complete SQLite database programming for absolute beginners. If you have any questions, please let me know, and for the further videos please subscribe to my channel. Hello friends, I'm Parvez, and in the previous videos we have learned about different kind of database connections with Python programming language. We have learned about MySQL database, that how you can connect Python with MySQL database, how you can do inserting, deleting, updating, and selecting data in MySQL database using Python programming language. Also, we have learned that how you can use SQLite 3, that is a lightweight database with Python programming language, and how you can do selecting, deleting, inserting data. Now in this video I'm going to show you that how you can use Postgres with your Python, how you can connect your Python with Postgres, how you can do inserting data, selecting data, updating data, and deleting data. So we will learn of all of them in this one video. So the first thing I need some configuration, and I'm using Elephant SQL, so you can use it has free versions. Also you can use paid, but for the purpose of this video I'm using the free version. Also I'm using pgadmin 4 for this. Now the first thing I need, I'm going to create a new instance in the Elephant SQL. So let me just check my internet connection. Okay, now so you can click on create new instance, and let me wait. Now in here you need to give your instance name, so I'm going to give it test. So let me just give it test, and after this, in here you can see that this is a free plan, and you can use if you want you can use the paid version. After that, let me select the region, click on select region, and now we are going to so I'm going to use this default. After this, click on review, and the last step is we need to confirm this. So let me create an instance. Okay, now our instance is created successfully, and after this let me open this test. You can see there are some information that we need, for example user, so username, name. So now this is the information of my instance. After this let me open the pgadmin 4, and let me click on servers, create, and I want to create a server. So now in here you need to give the name of the database. So let me just copy this and paste it in here, and after this click on connections. In here you need to give the host name. So the host name is this. You need to just copy this and paste it in this section, and this is the port. This is the default port for Postgres. I'm using this, and for the database and username I'm going to just copy this. So copy and paste it in here, and I'm going to paste this in here, and in the password I want to give this as a password. Control C and paste. Okay. After this, now I'm going to click on save, and this will be saved in here. I am waiting for the save. Okay, so now it's created now, this is that we need. Let me open this and let me go to the databases, and I want to find this database. So just I'm waiting for this. Okay, now there are a lot of database instances. Now we want to find ourselves. If you see in here, this is W, and let me just bring it in here. So as we want to find the W, and yeah, it should be in here, and this is W and Zite. So now just let me bring it. Yeah, where is it? So it was on the top, I think. So it should be in here. Yeah, now you can see that this is now the color is changed. This is our database instance. So let me open this, and you will see right now I don't have any table, and in here. So let me bring it in here. Right now we don't have any activity for this. Yeah, now in the schema, right now we don't have any table in here, but I'm going to show you. And in the public, so now we don't have any table in here. Let me just first now we are going to learn that how you can connect tables, Postgres tables in Python. I have opened my Python ID, and before this you need to install this package. So you can pip install and it will be installed, because when you're going to use Postgres database, you need to install this package. Let me just create a new Python file. I call it connecting, and I want to import the package that I have installed. Now we need so this is database name, we have db user, we need db password, we need db host, also I need db port. So these are the information that we need to get from our instance. So the database name is, let me open in here, this is the database name. Let me just copy this and paste in here. And after that we have user. So for the user also I'm going to copy this, and we have password. For the password you need to copy this password in here. So let me just copy this and paste it in here. After that we have host. Now for the host, let me just copy this and paste it in here. Also we have port. For the port I'm using 5432. So this is the default port for Postgres. Now after this, let me create a try. You can do con. I want to create a dot connect. Now for the database I want to give the DB name, and for the user I want to give DB user. After this, for the password I want to give DB password. We have host, and you can give DB host. So the last one is port. and we are going to give our port in here. Okay, and after if it was successful, I'm going to just print so database connected successfully, and if there is something wrong, we are going to just print the database not connected. Okay, now this is the code. Let me just run this, and hopefully I'm going to run this. So now I'm waiting for the connection. Okay, now database connected successfully because we have a database and these configuration is correct. But if I change, for example, just remove the B from the database name, and if I run this, it will say that database not connected successfully. You can see that database not connected successfully because we have a wrong configuration. Now I'm going to give it B, and I'm going to run this again. Now database connected successfully. Now let me just move this to the right, yeah, like this. Okay, so now like this you can connect to the database. So this was connecting. Now I want to show you that how you can insert data. Let me create a new Python file and let me write inserting data. I want that in one video I learn you all Postgres database functionality. Now for this I'm going to just copy this from here, so paste in this section and like this, and so just let me remove these from here, and also let me just open again, copy this and paste it in this section. Okay, now this is my configuration, and after this let me just first print database connected successfully. We need to create a cursor, so count.cursor, and now we need to execute the creating of our tables. For this, cur.execute, and we need to execute our query in here. So create table, and I want employee table, so employee table. Now you need the fields for the employee. For example, I want ID. The ID should be integer. It should be primary key, and not null. Okay, and after this I need name. So for the name I want it should be text, and it should be not null. Okay, after this I want email. This should be text and not null. Okay, now we have created our fields. After this, in here, so I want to connect. You need to count.commit, and I'm going to print that table created successfully. Okay, now let me just run this, execute the query. So database connected successfully, but I have an error in here. Okay, I need to give a comment here. So now let me just run it again. Okay, database connected successfully and table created successfully. Now I'm going to open my pgadmin, and now in the public schema public I'm going to open the database. Let me just refresh this. So refresh, and now I should receive a table. You can see that I have one table, and the table is employee. Okay, and you can see the structure of the table. So we will have ID, name and email in the columns, and we will see the data, not the data but the fields. So you can see that we have ID. Let me bring it in here. We have ID, name and email. Okay, and if I, for right now, if I right click on this, you will see that there is no data in our this employee. So you can go to the all rows, okay. Now it's connecting, waiting for the query execution to complete. So now we have ID, name and email, but there's no data. Now how you can insert data? So for this, let me create a new Python file. I call it inserting data. So, oh sorry, this was inserting table. Let me my data. So that was for the table, not data. Okay, no problem. Now let me just copy the first configuration code, because now we have our this configuration and this database connected. And let me remove, you can just remove this. Okay, we have our configuration, we have connected to Postgres, and this is the print and this is the cursor. Now for inserting data, let me execute the query. So execute insert into employee. So I want to insert into employee, and my employee, their ID, and we have name and we have email, and the values I want to add for this. So for example, the ID1, for ID1 I want to we have added primary key, but I want to add it manually. And let me add my name, and for the email address you can give an email address like this. Okay, so after executing your query, we need to commit the database, count.commit, and we need to close the database. So this is just simple code for and also let me just and here let me just print. So print data inserted successfully. So now this is our simple code for inserting data in Postgres. Let me just run my code, and let me bring this in here. So now a database connected successfully and data inserted successfully. Okay, now let me check that we have a data. Click on this and it will refresh your query. So now you can see that we have the first data, and this is my name, and this is the email address, the email address that I have given. So like this. Okay, now let me just insert another data. So in here I want to change this to ID2 John at gmail.com. Now let me just run my code. So now I'm waiting for this, and okay, now database connected successfully and data inserted successfully. Let me just check my data. I have the data in here. Yeah, now you can see I have another data. Now this was the inserting data. So after this, I want to show you that how you can select the data. So I have two data in here. I want to select all of them. For this, let me create a new Python file. So selecting data, and I'm going to copy these codes from here and paste in here. The configuration is the same, and just I'm going to remove these from here, and I have created a cursor. Okay, now we need to execute our query. So cur.execute select ID, name, email from from employee. So we want to select these data from the employee. After this, let me create a row. I want to fetch all the data from the database. So cur.fetch all. Now I'm going to create a for loop. So for data in rows, we need to print the ID. So the ID is data give the index 0, print name. So data 1, print email. This is data index 2. Okay, after this, let me just print that data selected successfully, and I want to close the connection dot close. Okay, so now let me just run this query, and this is my complete code. You can check this. So this is the configuration, and this is my code. Let me run this, and hopefully I get the data in here. Okay, so I need to convert this to string. So str, because it is integer. So now database connected successfully, and these are the data. We have ID1, my name, and this is ID2, john@gmail.com, and it is the same as our Postgres database. Now this was selecting data. Now I'm going to show you that how you can update your data. So for this, let me just create a new Python file, and I'm going to call it updating data. And I need to copy all of them and paste in here. So let me just remove these from the section, and these are the configurations, and they are the same. Now we need to execute our query for the updating data. Now I want to update, so I want to update employee. Okay, now set I want to update the email address, so set email to, I want to give update at gmail.com, and you can add a where. So where ID is 1. So I want to change the ID 1 email address. Okay, now after this we need to commit. So con.commit, let me just print, so data updated successfully, and also you need to print that total, so total row affected. Let me convert to string and cur.row count, cur.row count. Okay, now this is my code for this. Let me just run this. Okay, now data updated successfully and we have total row affected 1. And now let me just refresh my Postgres database. So I should see an updated email address for my first record. So now you can see that we have update@gmail.com. So it's changed. Now this was updating, and the last one that we will complete our this Postgres, that is deleting data. So now for deleting data, now let me just create a new Python file. It is the same as update, deleting data, and let me just copy from update. Let me close these files, paste it in here. The configuration is the same, and just I need to remove these codes from here. Okay, now so for this, first you need to execute the query. So execute, and I want to delete from employee, so where ID is 1. So I want to delete the first record from my Postgres database. After this, you need to, for bringing change to that, you need to commit the database, and you need to print something. For example, I want to print so data deleted successfully, and let me just print total row affected, total row affected, and convert this to string, cur dot row count. Okay, now this is my code, and this is the last code. Let me just refresh my page, and I'm waiting for this. So database connected, data deleted successfully, and total row affected 1. Now I want to refresh my Postgres database, and okay, now you can see that we don't have the first one data. So thank you guys. If you have any question, please let me know, and for the further videos, please subscribe to my channel, and also please share the videos, and please like the videos.